In this channel, I've talked about my love for physical game media. I love buying games for the PS2, the PS3, getting those full box copies with a manual, but when it comes to previous generations, it can be pretty difficult, especially when it comes to the Super Nintendo, the Genesis. Getting a cartridge-based game complete in box is quite expensive, so I've sort of been scared away from that. But I thought to myself, hey, is there any common ground? Is there a middle ground that I can sort of feel like I'm getting something? So in this video, we are going to be doing a pickup session because my name is Juan and I have with me 1, 2, and 3 different things. I have a miniature console that I got in 2020, and I'm going to explain why. I got an accessory for said miniature console, and then a good friend of mine, Dark One, sent me a package that in this time of pandemics, staying from home, we thought that, hey, if he sent me something, some games for that ever-growing backlog of video games, I can have a pretty good time with those games. So if you like what I do, please consider subscribing, clicking on that bell, going down to the comment section, and let me know, what have you picked up recently? I'm definitely looking forward to that. And with that being said, I mean, I have the console here. I mean, it's not new, right? It's like, oh my goodness, I got the Sega Genesis Mini. Growing up, I've mentioned before, I pretty much never touched a Sega Genesis, I think except one time, right? And I love looking at the physical boxes of those games. I was never a big Sonic fan, but some other games I've been quite interested in to just experience, right? So even if it's not something I care about today, I can at least play it and begin to understand some of the gameplay mechanics. And I thought that for $40, it would be pretty good. Some people have talked about, yeah, there's a little bit of latency, kind of like the Super Nintendo Classic. It's a recurring theme. I actually had the Sega Genesis collection on the PS4, and look, there's emulation and everything else, but real talk, it's just damn cool. I mean, the fact that with this thing, you can actually adjust the volume slider, even though it doesn't do a damn thing. You can turn it on and off, hit the reset button. It's via HDMI out, and I have heard that it can be modified, and I've also heard that I tried to modify it, and it gave me an error, and I thought it got corrupted. It's good, but I was like, you know what? I could just play the games that it comes with right now, and it's got a whole bunch of them. I actually want to play Beyond Oasis and Castlevania Bloodlines. I think those are two of the games that I'm really looking forward to playing because I've seen in a lot of the YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to, a lot of people talk about that Zelda-like top-down game in Beyond Oasis. But please let me know, among this collection of games, is there anything you would love for me to talk about? Because I would actually like to slowly but surely be able to give my modern perspective on these older games that I had never experienced before. I actually tried out the Mega Man Wily Wars, which is Mega Man, because it's the one Mega Man, not Mega Man. Mega Man 1 through 3, but it's like Sega Genesis in terms of graphics and music. I think it's okay, and I'm not a Mega Man expert, but it did feel a little bit weird. Also, I played Alter Beast, and man, that was rough. I was really bad at that. And then Ghouls and Ghosts, I was so surprised at how different that performed. So, as I mentioned, if you're aware of the different things this does include, and you would like for me to talk about those games, let me know in the comments. And this is actually a pretty good transition to one of the accessories. So I tried to play Street Fighter 2. You know, this does come with 2 controllers, but it is the 3-button layout. And I was curious, like, how in the blue hell does that work with Street Fighter 2? And I tried it. I thought it was horrible. And then I stopped playing it, but I got me this. Some of you know, if you've been subscribed to for a while, that I'm a big fan of 8BitDo and their controllers. I have the SM30 and the SM30 Pro Plus, and I use a lot of those on the Nintendo Switch. And because that was so cheap, I actually had a $25 Amazon gift card, and this was $25. Sometimes it does go lower in price. This is not a Bluetooth version of this controller. This is the M30 2.4G wireless gamepad for the Sega Genesis Mini and the Mega Drive Mini. It's apparently also compatible with the Nintendo Switch. I did try it. I ran into some problems. Apparently people say if you stumble upon that, you can install some firmware and do that. I was actually going to do a full-on video review about this controller, but because I encountered those problems, I thought to myself, let's hold off on that for the time being. I don't think I've ever actually held an official 6-button controller for the Genesis, so I can't sit here and say it feels genuine, right? It feels like an original one. But you can see the D-pad is really, really nice. What I like is that it does have additional buttons. So it is fully Switch compatible. And the Switch has a lot of Sega Genesis and I think some Master System games. Even if it's not that, there's a lot of retro style games on the Switch and on my PC. And yeah, it is something that I'm hoping to experiment with a lot more. But at least with the Sega Genesis Mini, this comes with a dongle. You plug this USB device onto the Mini or onto the Switch or to your PC, and just right off the bat it works. It comes with a USB cable, so it is fully rechargeable and it feels really nice and firm in your hands. So if you would like me to work on a full-on individual review about it, please let me know. But I'm definitely going to hold off at least until I can confirm whether it is just really hard to get it to work on the Switch or not, because I definitely want to be very honest about my experience. And with that being said, I know of a few of the games that maybe my good friend Dark One had sent me. We actually worked on a video a couple of months ago here where we talked about average games or games that don't receive the best scores that we do like. But if you like some Linux gaming tips, ideas, seeing games running on Linux-based machines, please subscribe to his channel. I'm going to leave that at the end of this video and also in the description. So let's see what comes here. I should have finished cutting this. Clearly there are more than 6 games in here. And do you know about this thing called a backlog? You know, I've talked about my brand new gaming PC and I'm doing a whole lot of gaming there. I'm doing this here and I'm having a lot of fun on the Twitch channel. So like, all jokes aside about the plugs and all of that, if you really do want to just chat up with me, make sure to follow me there because I may be streaming some of these games. Oh, we got some PS3 games. Okay, so we have PS3 and PS4 games. And also we got some freaking bubble wrap. Wait, is that a Redbox game? That's a game in a Redbox box. Okay, he specifically told me to leave the loose games for the end, so I'm curious about that. Oh, check this out. Okay, so for the PS4, we have Darksiders 3. So I'm actually looking forward to playing the first one very soon. I have that War Mastered Edition, I think it's called, on PC. I know that this game definitely didn't get a lot of love compared to the other two, but something that I've been always fascinated by is that when people talk about Darksiders, it's like every game, even though this is 3 and there's 2 others before it, because wow, it's like, this is what you come here for, right? We can count. The gameplay and apparently the way the game is presented is like very different. So I'm like fascinated to see just how that actually works. It's an action game. I only played it for a little bit of PAX, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And this one, I'm super curious about because, first of all, you look at the box art and you cannot help but think about Metal Gear Solid. I believe it is actually from the designer or the artist of the box art of Metal Gear Solid. This is Left Alive Day 1 edition for the PS4. I've heard very not mixed things. I've actually read many negative things about this game, but that was at launch. He was able to get a lot of these games from what he texted me. Like, GameStop's been having these unbelievable deals. So the context is very different from like a $60 game at launch versus something that maybe you got for $5. Does that make the game any better or worse? Not necessarily, but I want to have like a judgment-free experience with this game. So if you've played this, Left Alive, and you think it is horrible, it is great, I really would love to know. And ooh, check this out for the PS4, Assassin's Creed Origins. So Assassin's Creed is a series that I've mentioned before. I'm not the biggest open world gamer, but I think it is time. As somebody that's enjoyed Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, I've actually talked about that in a previous video. I've been thinking to myself, I think it's time that I give Assassin's Creed a shot. I'm thinking of starting with Black Flag because a lot of people say great things about it. I have a lot of these on PS4 because of my wife. I have some of them on PC, so I'm not sure where I'm going to be playing them. I even have some on the Wii U, right? But the Wii U ones don't run all that great as much as I love the Wii U. But let me know which is your favorite Assassin's Creed game. Now, this is something I actually don't own, and I'm really, really excited to try out at some point. Dragon Age Inquisition. So I actually popped Dragon Age Origins on my PS3 a couple of weeks ago to begin to play it. I know it's like I talk about the fact that I'm not here for the graphics. I like performance in games and resolution, and as long as it looks decent, right? I don't need a game to look amazing. That first Dragon Age on PS3 does look a little rough, but the gameplay about it is fascinating. This is around a time that people still like BioWare. I think people still like BioWare. And this one I'm really pumped to play because this is Tearaway Unfolded Crafted Edition. So this is a game that initially came out on the PS Vita, which I did own. We still have the Assassin's Creed Y model, but that was the one that my wife used. And I never got it because it's like the Vita games, it's not that they were expensive as much as I love my Vita, because the memory cards were so expensive. I just kind of abandoned it. But I'm super curious to try out this one now because I'm big into platformers in 2020. It's something that I've been playing a lot of. You know, I've been going back and playing Donkey Kong Country and other games like that, you know, indie games on the Nintendo Switch. Like I've really, especially those $1 games on Switch, I've been dabbling at the possibility of doing some videos about that. So let me know if you'd be interested. But this one, it's like a super charming game. Obviously, it's not like Little Big Planet, but I think the charm and essence could be somewhat similar. And you can check out that trailer there for reference. Oh, this has got to look beautiful. This is Guilty Gear. Wait, what is the order? Guilty Gear XRD Sign on the PS4. But Guilty Gear games is something that I've never played because I'm like a casual fighting gamer. But every time I look at the graphics in these, I'm like, oh man, that is just freaking beautiful. So the fact that I can actually play this, I mean, even look at the box art. Even the box art itself just looks so damn cool. It looks like a damn movie. This is Middle-earth: Shadow of War. So this is the sequel, right? Because it was Shadow of Mordor, which when the PS4 generation started, that won a lot of the Game of the Years, right? I think that game just tackled a lot of the positive things about the Assassin's Creed games. People talked about the unique Nemesis system. I feel like the sequel came out and almost nobody talked about it. Even my wife that loved that first game, this one came out and everybody played it. And I don't know why. Like, please let me know if you've played it. Is there a reason? Was it just the second game? And it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? You get a sequel, you get a little bit more, but maybe it doesn't meet those expectations. But it's a single player game, and I have so much gaming to do. My goodness. And then another one from one of my favorite developers, Deep Silver. This is Agents of Mayhem. So Agents of Mayhem is not a sequel to Saints Row, but they have a Saints Row character in there that you can get. I think it's like a skin or something. I never actually played this one, but I remember being very excited when I first read about it. And then you'd start to see just a lot of negative things because I love to play Saints Row the 3rd. I played a little bit of 4. Actually started to play Saints Row 2 on my Xbox One. Or on my 360. Yeah, on my Xbox Series X. Like, see, this is what happens when it's like the PS1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is easy. With Xbox now, it's just getting to the point that, which one am I talking about? I've been enjoying that. So I'd be curious to see just like why this game was very poorly received. Because, man, people hated it. Okay, so we're going to lump these two games up together because we have the David Cage experience, I believe is his name. Here we have Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain. These are two games that I feel people loathe or love. I want to be able to play those because I've really been open at the possibility of just trying out. I think I'm getting old people. You know, it's like when you were a kid, you hated to eat something and now you love it. Now, a lot of these game genres that I just never really cared about, I'm like, oh man, like I've never played Life is Strange. I've never played Alan Wake or these games. I think as a matter of fact, like this is what sparked Dark wanting to send me some stuff because he was asking me about Beyond Two Souls and I told him like I haven't played that game. Please let me know like what's your opinion on these because I know it is so mixed. People talk about the writing. I know there was some controversy about this game right here. I'm not too familiar with it, but I know these have very split fan bases, very passionate communities. And I think either Heavy Rain or both, I think they did get some PS4 releases, right, or something like that. So let me know what you think of it. And here we have Bladestorm 100 Years War. I have no idea what this is. Okay, so I'm assuming it's Koei. So I will assume it's like a Dynasty Warriors like game. I'm assuming that it is maybe like an RPG based version of that or something. I love how I'm pretending. You know about this more than me because I'm showing you the gameplay right now or something. So please educate me, people, by going down to the comment sections and let me know more about it. And then here we have a Redbox purchase, which is, oh, The Division 2. Okay, awesome. So The Division, I played the first one for a bit and I really enjoyed it. I think after I finished the story, you know, it's not a game you finish, it's a game you keep playing. Much like Destiny, for me, it's like, no, actually, I think I'm good. I think I'm good with that journey. So I'm curious now to see, like, what's the Division 2 community like? Because I have a lot of friends that freaking love these games. Plus, I have a Redbox box. I mean, is it sad? I'm more excited about the Redbox case because much like Blockbuster has gone away, I think these are going to be the collecting thing. Like, in 20 years from now, we're going to be talking about why I'm collecting Redbox boxes in 2040. Be on the lookout, YouTube. It is going to happen. And then the other game is Dark. Now I understand why you told me to save this one for last. The definitive, most important game. And I know you're laughing right now. You're watching this video laughing right now because the last game in this video is Madden 25th Anniversary Edition for the PS3, which for anybody that loves football, I mean, please let me know what this is. I think it's like an oval egg-shaped thing, and people throw and then they score, and then you can't dance because it's like unethical or something like that. I'm pretending to know about football. But yeah, I've never really been a big sports fan. I love wrestling, right? I actually have a video talking about some of my favorite wrestling games going back to the days of the N64. But sincerely, all jokes aside, all of that, I am just eternally humbled. Thank you to Dark and everybody for supporting the channel because I love to do all of this because it's a game sharing experience, right? I never go into these videos with the mindset that I'm the expert of any particular genre because even though I don't consider myself a casual gamer, because I like a little bit of all types of games, I can't consider myself an expert of RPGs or action games or adventure. So I love the fact that I can sit here, chat with all of you, and we can have a real conversation about maybe you and I have both never played, I don't know, like Beyond Two Souls or Heavy Rain. We can talk about it here, or we can carry the conversation over to Twitch. Or if you're an expert about these, like I remember with the video about Trials of Mana, for example, so many of you were just awesome and just helping me get prepared for the experience. So out of all of this, let me know if there's anything in particular you're looking forward to have me talk about in a future video. And if you like what I do, please make sure to subscribe, click on that bell, follow me at twitch.tv/MrPlayerJuan. And up until next time, thank you for watching and supporting, and take care, everybody.